Only 6 players retain hope of winning the 888.com World Championship, with 2 quarter-finals already complete. Ronnie O'Sullivan is out, beaten 13-9 by John Higgins, who goes forward to face Stephen Maguire, on fire in overcoming Anthony Hamilton 13-7. In the bottom half of the draw though, 2 quarter-finals remain undecided. Can Matthew Stevens stay on course for a title that's proved frustratingly elusive? Will Shaun Murphy, Ali Carter or the qualifier, that's world number 28 Mark Selby, shine? Our initial focus is Murphy Stevens, a repeat of the 2005 World Final, won by Murphy 18-16. This time, first blood went to Stevens. Here's the second. Up in the commentary box, it's John Virgo and Neil Foltz.
Well, I don't know what it is with Shaun. I don't know whether it's the early morning start, but he's just not turned up yet, and I think he may have left this red to the left centre, and if he has, that's very, very careless. Can't get to the one over the corner, but the one in the left centre is definitely the one he should have covered.
One.
You know, you can't afford to gift opportunities at this level. Has he still got a bit of sleep in his eyes?
Well, it's a very good shot, and of course he had the reserve red up the table, or so he thought. Over by the green pocket. It always makes it easy when you've got a ball near a pocket, John, doesn't it?
Yeah, and he can't get through to it, so that's a little unlucky. But I think the red, just to the left of the pink, will go to the left middle. And if he can roll that in, kiss off the other 2 reds, he'd leave himself the pink in this right corner. Well, he's not playing it. He's playing this one, which goes a little bit more freely.
4.
And it goes. And that's all you ever look for when you open the reds. An easy starter. The reds are nicely placed. There's at least 3 or 4 in the open. So a good
8.
break building chance.
Nine.
Well, he did well to hold there. He didn't have a very
14.
straight angle on the blue.
15.
He's overhit. Wanted to be topside, but not quite as far as that. Well, he could play the blue, but the yellow might interest him as well if it was a direct screw back onto the next red.
Yeah, if he's straight on the blue, Neil, I'm not certain what red he can play, unless that red, just to the left of the pink, goes in the right corner. Oh, it must do. That's the one he's played for. One we earmarked before is available into the
20.
The middle pocket. Wasn't happy with the handle there. He'd like to have been a little bit straighter on this, but it's okay. Yeah, nicely played.
21. $27. $28.
If that's dead straight, it's perfect. He's still got 2 open reds. Obviously, this one, there's one below the pink, which will pot to the right corner as well.
35.
So doesn't necessarily have to go into them this time. When I say this time, I mean from the black, of course. Depends how he feels about it, really. The pack are a little bit low down, aren't they? They're low down towards the reds, towards the black, so it's maybe a little unusual shot he's going to be left. He could play, as I say, that red that he's shaping up now into the right corner.
Yeah, he's got a nice angle on this red. It's difficult unless you're right down on the table to know exactly what he's thinking about. I mean, obviously you'd think, well, I need more reds in open to win this frame at this visit, but if you can't get the angle you're looking for...
36.
So he's got to be careful here. It's one of our colleague Willie Thorne's flat back pack. I know they're a little bit loose, but if you catch one full, the cue ball doesn't get through them. Well, he'll settle for that. He's finished up
43.
inch perfect, I believe, on a red to the right corner. Put plenty in it, hit them. Didn't look as though he developed anything, but because of the action he got on the cue ball, came back across, and as you can see, this red nicely on. And took that
44.
opportunity. That was a clever shot from Matthew to release another red into play. Frame winning chance now.
Yeah, we mentioned that he's been struggling in the rankings, as low as 24 on the provisionals. He is a much better player than that. But the rankings, they don't lie. I mean, you only get points for matches you win. He's down there because he hasn't been winning.
50.
But as we all know, he likes the longer matches. Been in the final here twice. He settles into his game better.
51.
He's just, I think, feels he got a bad contact there. He's got at least the angle from the next shot. There you see a slight jump, but not much. Does have the angle on the black, though, I think, to go into the pack. Go into the two reds, I think. At the bottom, next to the pink.
Yeah, that's the line. If you can get that little cannon, you have to play it hard. He'll have a red available into the other corner. Well, I'm surprised he didn't play the little cannon.
58.
But he obviously felt that there was enough room in between the pink and another red to be on that.
59.
You can't argue with him because he was absolutely inch perfect. Not seen a lot of Shaun Murphy yet in this match. And
65.
this red will give Matthew Stevens the second frame. Ooh,
66.
that was nearly a miss. And it was that very careless safety shot from Shaun Murphy that left a red
72.
to the left middle. Didn't seem any
73.
problem in getting it safe. Left it on, Matthew knocked it in. And that's it. And look at that for a stat. All
80.
spotted, nil. A lot to think about, even at this early stage.
81.
Well, he may be able to make a century, especially if he can push that
88.
other red off the left cushion. It's a natural, it would seem, from this red to do it. Nice shot.
89. $95. 96.
Well, the left-handed shot, not only Roddy O'Sullivan can play with his other hand. We've had 41 centuries so far at the
98.
Crucible this year. This will be century 42. The second from Matthew.
100.
Lovely break.
103. 107.
Got a few low colours, and it would be a pretty low total clearance, this.
112.
A very fine break indeed.
118.
No total clearance, but a tremendous
118
break of
and the frame.
118 by Matthew Stevens. He's made a very bright start to this quarter-final match, and he needs Shaun Murphy by 2 frames to 0.
A run of 64 meant that 2-0 became 3-0 to Stevens, combining confidence with determination. Here's frame 4, Murphy on the back foot.
Doesn't like it, does he? And it's on.
Yeah, I think he just has to do a little bit with the cue ball, which can take your eye off the pot. Missed it.
Matthew
Never
Stevens,
comfortable, as
11.
you say, Neil. And Shaun Murphy will be pleased that he's coming back to the table and only 8 points in arrears. What can he do with this? Well, really, in live play, his first chance.
One.
So the first little sign of maybe weakness from Matthew Stevens.
8.
First miss, really, that he's made that was possibly going to be significant in this match. What can Shaun Murphy
9.
do? First good hope, really, for him.
Yeah, and this is the key now, Neil, isn't it? That when you get this chance, you've got to make your opponent aware that if you make a mistake, you're going to get punished. Not like a boxing match. If someone hits you, you can't hit them back. But what you do,
16.
you start to make these sort of opportunities count. Oh, that's not a good
17.
shot. Nearly went in off.
Yeah, the table time we saw there was maybe one of the reasons. I mean, if you're at the table only 30% of the time and you're watching your opponent, then you go into these situations a bit cold. And that last shot was not good.
And because he's so close, he just can't drop it in, I don't think, and play for one of the reds just below the pink. So he needs to cue this really well. Well, he got the cannon.
22.
Well, does this red go to the left corner past the black? Oh, it does. And he's on it.
$23.
No angle there. That's why he's just playing the run-through shot. Couldn't get anywhere towards the red from that blue.
28. $29.
That was a nice shot from Shaun. Probably play for the red just to the right of the black here. Didn't have to do a lot with the cue ball. These cushions certainly seem to be playing
34.
better. You can just feel the cue ball just sinking into them slightly, you know, rather than seen before they were just bouncing off them.
35.
I think most of the players that are left in the tournament, and even those who got beat, have said that the tables are an awful lot better. And so they should be.
42.
Been coming here 30 years, you would have thought they'd have
43.
known about it. I heard one reason, Neil, that the weather had been unusually warm for this time of year.
Global warming is to blame, maybe, for the conditions, John. That's what they're saying.
Yeah,
50.
I don't know. I always remember all the years we've been coming to Sheffield, we've always been blessed with good weather,
51.
spring-like.
$58.
There you go. Just the red needed. Mid-session interval after this. His cup of tea will taste a little bit better. Now he's got his first frame on the board.
59.
Yes, it'll be a big relief. Hardly any table time in the first 3 frames. Hardly potted a ball. Didn't pot his first ball until the 3rd frame, in fact. So just to win this 4th frame is
65.
great for him.
66.
It's been a good break, this. Mostly high colours. He's been in good control throughout. He's starting to cue now. Everything points to a terrific match between 2 players of a very similar style of play. Highly attacking,
72.
good cueman.
$73.
Had a century already in frame 2 from Matthew Stevens. Shaun Murphy can go on and make one here. He's already knocked
80.
in 2 centuries.
$82.
And this is hope for his 3rd in the championship so far.
$82 and the frame. Shaun Murphy.
No century break, but a good 82. And Matthew Stevens leads Shaun Murphy 3-1 at the mid-session interval.
A last red to pink clearance gave Murphy frame 5 as well. He'll no doubt be feeling a whole lot better as this clash of 2 class players moves on.
Well, he may be able to get to this to pot it, just around the green. He has been knocking in some long balls in this match. That's a pretty good success rate, 80% of them. And if he can see enough of this, I should think he'll take it on. Maybe there's some doubt whether he can. He's got up twice on it. Terrific shot though.
One.
So he continues a good run of long pots into that pocket especially. And he still looks very, very sharp even though he's lost 2 frames in a row.
Yeah, it's a terrific long pot, and as you see, once again, right in the heart of the pocket. I think what's just let him down in the last two frames is just one or two loose positional shots. Certainly not his potting. Now playing for the red that's just to the left of the black, and that is inch perfect. And the beauty of potting this red, it clears the black spot area.
Six. $13. $14.
Well, he's finished high on the black deliberately. Playing on the loose red. Just gone a bit too far from that cushion.
21.
He's asking for the cue ball to be cleaned. Don't think it's going to be a big problem. Went a few inches too far though. Here it is. Maybe just overhit slightly. Just trying to see where his next red is going to come from. He could leave an angle to nudge into the pack. But is there anything free? That's what he was looking.
22. $29.
This red goes in the middle, but well, there's one more loose red on the left-hand side of the cluster after this one.
30.
And that's what he'll have to play for, because he's certainly not left himself a good angle on the black to go into reds, which could have been in the back of his mind. And you see, dead straight. Looking to see if there's any plants to the middle pocket. I mean, if there isn't, then he's going to have to play a very precise positional shot. Could screw back off the side cushion, finish in the circle, play for that loose red to the left of the cluster. As I say, just got to judge it well. Has he got the line? Has he run far enough? Played
37.
It well. Okay, not in the circle, but on the right line. And just enough. Now it's imperative he gets a good angle, because I don't think there's any more reds that can come to his rescue.
38.
Opened them nicely there, and
45.
he's on this red.
Touching ball. $46.
And once he could cue that, it was always going to be a fairly straightforward shot. And there's lots of reds open now. It all came from only a half chance, but he's flowing now, all right.
53. $54.
Once again, nice angle on the black. Red to the right corner next.
61.
Still a little bit of work to do with all those points remaining. 83 left, but he's going to, I think, make short work of these from here.
62.
Except for one thing, perhaps, that was a bad contact. It was such a bad contact that he's not got the worst shot, really. Blew up to the top right pocket.
Yes, as you say, left himself a straight blue, so shouldn't be a problem to a potter of Matthew's talent. And now, just looking for one more red and a colour. You see it, 67 ahead.
67.
75 remaining. Well, just the red will do. That puts him 68 in front, with only 67 remaining. Well, Shaun didn't do a lot wrong in this frame. A terrific opening red from Matthew. And he's taken the rest very nicely. In fact, this is as good as a contribution he's made. Okay, he made a century-breaking frame too, but he's never really been out of control here. And particularly after losing the last two frames, there could have been a few seeds of doubt, but taking them well.
'83.
No, I agree. It's been a very fluent break. Pot success rate 94%.
84.
It reflects how well he's playing.
'91. '92.
Well, the highest break of this championship so far is at 140 by Neil Robertson. It is beatable here.
100.
And he does have an angle on this. Tremendous shot.
Now, he'll have a look at the scoreboard here. Well, he's unlucky.
107.
He's unlucky. The pink and blue have gone together. Now, 107. There's a possible 35 left, but you wouldn't think he can play for the black, so he's going to have to play for the pink. He's checked the pink is in the left corner. A red and a pink for 141. Nicely on the pink. And it must pass the blue.
Well, the highest break still belongs to Neil Robertson at this stage, but that was a very fluent 108 break from Matthew Stevens, and he now leads 4 frames to 2 over Shaun Murphy.
It was 4-4 at the end of the first session, but Stevens won 5 of the following 6 frames on the restart to lead 9-5. Here's the 15th, Murphy toiling, Willie Thorne and Neil Folds talking.
Well, that is an absolute beauty. He looked at the potting angle and then he played a very good safety shot in the end, just missed the red on the way back.
His safety's been definitely the key for me this evening. He really has played some excellent safety. That was one of the best of the tournament, and what about the best of this match? There you can see he's leading by some 11% in the safety exchanges. Another fly off the cushion, but luckily for Shaun this time he caught the red. Otherwise that cue ball would have been in and out of baulk.
Well, we saw a brilliant safety shot from Matthew the last time he came to the table. And that red, I guess from Hawkeye, it doesn't look too bad, does it? But it looks, to me, like a very difficult shot from the other end. Well, there it is. He may be forced into this. Tremendous pot. Absolutely super shot that.
1.
They don't come any better than that. And I think he's got an angle on the green that he perhaps deserved after potting the red. And now a chance to go 10-5 in front with 1 to play.
4. 5. 11. 12.
Matthew Stevens, he likes a game of poker. He's very good at that game, and I tell you, he's played really streetwise snooker tonight. He's combined attacking play with his safety. Not something we necessarily associate with him, but he's been around a while.
19.
He's played a shrewd game tonight. A little bit of good fortune here and there, a few nudges. But he's starting to run away with this match.
20.
Shaun Murphy would have thought he didn't mind Matthew going for the long red because it was a high percentage that he would not pot it, but he potted it very cleanly. And it's won in the frame, I think.
27. 28.
That was a beauty, that opening red. He was forced into it, had no choice. Sometimes it makes your mind up for you if you've got no safety on.
35. 36.
Well, this 36 break has come because of that red, and it was an excellent shot. The equation appears simple now for Shaun Murphy. He has to win the last frame of the session to have a chance of winning the match. It would be tough to see him winning from 11-5 behind.
42.
Matthew Stevens has had a lot on his shoulders here in this tournament because he needed to win to have any chance of staying in the top 16. So that's enough pressure. The fact that he lost to Shaun Murphy last time they played here in the final of the
49.
World Championship, that was a little bit more. Not too bad left-handed. He's
50.
made a century break left-handed, apparently, Matthew Stevens.
$57. 57.
Matthew
and the
Stevens'
frame.
highest break of the match has been 118, and in some ways that 57 was up there with the best of them. Matthew Stevens goes further clear. He now leads by 10 frames to 5.
Stevens has been known to surrender sizable leads in the past, but there's little sign of weakness so far. He's now only 3 frames away from victory.
Missed it by a long way. Not been his night at all. You can't afford to have sessions quite as bad as this one. This was a long way off.
I thought when he first got down he was playing the cut in the middle, which I thought would have been the slightly easier pot. But if Matthew Stevens can pot a long one here, he's in with a chance of winning another frame.
1.
He may take the pot on the blue if he doesn't fancy the pink. The pink looks to be okay though, half ball. It does pot.
Think about this pink, of course, with the red up the table. He should land right in behind it. That's why he's taking the pink instead of the blue. It would make the slightly easier pot, but it is a difficult little cutback. Good shot, naturally on the red. Excellent.
8. A 13. A 14.
Good shot, played with power to get the cue ball out of the pack once he hit them.
22.
Well, what a chance this is now for Matthew Stevens to take an 11-5 lead. You'll know how important this is, and to be fair, after the interval, Matthew Stevens played better than he did before the interval. And he led 3-1 then. This is for a winning streak of 5 frames on the trot if he wins this one.
27. 28. 35. 36.
Matthew has improved as his session has gone on. He really has sensed that he had a chance to pull away from someone who's not been playing as well as he might have expected in Shaun Murphy.
43. 44.
Well, this is more tricky than you would have thought. The pink has covered the blue to the top right. The yellow is on, but it heads him down towards the reds.
Yellow ball.
Well, what a pot. He was forced into it because he knocked the blue and pink into a safe position.
46.
That pot could have put him a step closer to the semi-final.
47.
This has been an excellent... The last 2 frames, Matthew Stevens has been flawless.
$54. 55. 62.
All credit to Matthew. He's pulled away.
63.
He certainly loves this venue. He loves the long matches. Twice has been in the final. This is a very big advantage to take him through tomorrow's final session.
68.
Because Shaun Murphy does need snookers already.
$69.
As I mentioned earlier, he's played a shrewd game. Terrific safety. As the session's gone on, he started to score more heavily. His long game has been good. A couple of times he's been forced into long pots, which he's got and scored off them. This has been almost vintage Matthew Stevens, former UK Championship
74.
winner who loves the long matches.
'81.
Well, no century for Matthew Stevens, but a wonderful session from his point of view. Shaun Murphy congratulates him on that. He's got a lot of work to do, the 2005 World Champion, because Matthew Stevens powers away to an 11-5 overnight lead.
Stevens in total control. Murphy would need one of the most remarkable recoveries in Crucible history to reach the semi-finals. Here's frame 17. Guiding us through, Neil Folds has been joined by John Virgo.
Well, he knocked in a lot of long balls, especially into that pocket yesterday. Didn't get very close to that one.
One.
Cue ball has come away from that cushion. I'm sure he played on the black. He may actually be on the pink.
Seven. Eight. Eleven. $12.
This is just the kind of start that Shaun wanted. He's
19.
so far dominated the frame. Now he's in absolute prime position.
20.
Just think sometimes, John, you get a player that's so far behind as this, he's probably resigned himself to the fact that he may well lose. It can be very dangerous for a while, especially someone who cues as well as Shaun.
Yes, and it looks such a big deficit, doesn't it? 11-5.
27.
Say, for example, he was to... Well, he's won this frame now, you would have thought, more or less. Unless he
28.
makes a silly mistake. And if he wins the next 3 frames before the mid-session interval, all of a sudden we've got 11-9 on our hands. But it is a big ask because he's playing a great player. And, OK, Matthew's missed one chance of a long pot,
35.
but He's been to semi-finals and 2 finals, so he knows what it takes.
36.
61 points now, the lead. There's only 51 left. The black to come. I don't think Matthew will even bother coming back to the table. So just the start that Shaun needed. He's had plenty of table time and looks to be
43.
queuing very nicely.
44. $50. 51. 58. 59.
Shaun gets a lot of work on the ball for hardly any real effort. He's one of the better cuemen in the game, I always think. Tends to hit the ball beautifully.
65.
Sometimes maybe even too well for what a pretty
67.
responsive cloths that we use. He started well today and he's rushing around the table.
70. 74. 79. 85.
So the first frame of the morning comfortably goes to Shaun Murphy. Matthew Stevens hasn't potted a ball, but he still leads 11 frames to 6.
A quick start for Murphy to the final session was imperative, and that's been forthcoming. Still, Stevens holding all the aces.
Well, that may go. I think it would go. If you just try to knock the red in with your cue, it would go in, but he'd like to be behind it, John, wouldn't he?
Absolutely, I think it's one of those, if you were straight behind it, I think it's unmissable, but we'll see. Yeah, you see. Right behind it,
Matthew
when you have
Stevens,
the cue ball,
33.
object ball, pocket in your line, I don't think you miss those. But he's just trying to miss the first red, and then he's thinking, well, I don't want to hit the near jaw of the pocket, just too much. But it's not a bad lead the way the balls are situated. The black's now tied up, 57 points behind Shaun Murphy as he comes to the table. There was a possible 67 left on, but as we can see the way the black is, it's going to be tough to win the frame at this visit.
7.
I think what you got to do initially is just try, well, maybe he's trying to bring the black out into play here. Well, he had a second prize, he brought a red out, but the black was his intention.
Well, he's had one go at getting that red out by
30.
the black, and he'll need to do it pretty soon. This is a queuing shot. If this goes in, then there is some chance. Nicely done. Now then,
14.
what will his plan be here? Obviously got to run through onto the red, but will he try and leave an angle on the red to disturb the other red? Probably that's his best chance, just above being straight on this red. And he can play with topspin, disturb the other red, maybe push the black a little bit and into the open as well. Not often you see a player try and play a cannon from a red. I think that's his best hope here, where the balls are. Now then, where has he finished? I reckon that's not far away from being perfect. He's got the shot, top spin.
20.
Disturb the red, push it maybe near a pocket. Obviously, positionally, he's got to finish on a colour, which is not guaranteed. Oh, that's a great shot. That's a terrific shot. A bit unlucky. A bit
21.
unlucky. I wonder what he'll do. Here's the shot. It was nicely played, John, wasn't it?
Yeah, it just had that bit of topspin. You saw the white just sort of banana once it hit the black. And, well, you'd feel he'd play the black. If he misses it, he's lost the frame. So, lots of pressure. Lots and lots. Great shots. Great shots. As I say, if he misses it, he loses the frame. He'd have gone
28.
within one frame of defeat. That showed me a lot of character about Shaun Murphy.
29.
Still got to clear up, as he's 28 points behind, so this black and the 6 remaining colours. Well, this would be a frame to win, and he's absolutely inch
36.
perfect on the yellow.
$38.
Well, Matthew must have thought he was in command in the frame. He missed a red that was
41.
particularly tight. Probably seemed worth the risk at the time, but this has been a fantastic performance from Shaun Murphy. Do I
45.
die shot on that black earlier, and well, this would be a good frame to win.
Looks a formality now. He finished inch perfect on the blue.
50.
What a black he potted there, Neil.
$56.
Well, that's an absolutely brilliant clearance from Shaun Murphy, and he's won the opening 2 frames of the day, and he trails Matthew Stevens by 11 frames to 7.
Stevens shaded the 19th on the brown for 12-7, but Murphy's fought back to 12-9. Stevens still waiting to apply the finishing touch.
Well, we were thinking the black or the brown had covered the red near the far right corner, but that was a good red to pick out. Oh, he's missed
Matthew
the black
Stevens,
after a good red. He was on the black, he's missed it. So Shaun Murphy comes to the table, as Matthew can't believe that. He thought the black must have been in. And there's nothing better
One.
than having seen your opponent knocking a good red and get on the black, that you come to the table with an easy starter. Straighter on the blue, he'd have played the blue, but he's playing the yellow for the red that's in the balk end. There's a couple of reds that he can play on.
3.
Obviously he's going to play this. I don't know with this shot, do you play for the blue or do you play for a balk colour?
4.
Well, I'm not quite certain what he played for there. I know he's on the green, but I don't know. Anyway, there's 2 reds that can pot in the left corner. He used to be on them nicely. He's played it with run inside.
7.
And he's also got another one. The one that's just to the right of the black. He's checked the pink. I think the pink will go into the right corner. The question I would ask, where does the pink go after it's potted?
8.
Does it go on its own spot? Or will it have to go on the black spot? And if it goes on its own spot, will it be available into pockets?
I think it will go in its own spot, and as John was saying, well, it does
14.
go comfortably, and it will go into the left corner. It's still early days in a real comeback story here, but well, the signs are there. Matthew is looking edgy.
15.
He played a terrific shot before missing a black that he would have potted 9 out of 10. I mean, he played a really good shot on the red. You can always miss those, but if it goes in, it's possibly end of match. Shaun Murphy is reading the signs. Matthew has given off that he is keen to get this match over with. And it's starting to show a little
21.
bit of anxiety in his game.
$22.
Yes, and what's more, not surprising, because obviously every frame is there for the winning. But normally when you're behind, you feel as though you've got to win frames in one visit. Apart from the first frame this morning where Shaun made a break of 92, he's not been winning the frames in one visit. But he's winning frame after frame. And Matthew has had his chance in this frame, didn't make the most of it, as he did in the last, so
27.
he's probably just beginning to feel a little bit anxious.
$28.
Just a little bit shorter pace from Shaun, but nothing that should cause him a problem. We know the problem is that at the moment the pink is only available into the left corner. It's also available into the right centre.
34.
Straighter on this red. A bit of formality just to play for the pink, but he may be able to screw past the pink. No, he held it for the stunt and held it
35.
well. That was a lovely shot. Not certain he could have held it, but he played it nicely.
He's looked at the red to the left of the 3 into the right corner. That would be handy. Yeah, if that one goes, which it does, it opens up the pass to the other 2 for the left.
41.
He's not straight on this red. And they'll look and realise at 26 points he's got a bit of work still to do. Doesn't want to give Matthew another hope in this frame at all. There's the angle.
42.
Good shot.
Yeah, the only thing is, it I mean, if he's straight on the pink, fine. Just wondered whether the potting angle on the pink was taking him away from the red, but the way he's looked there, he doesn't look as though he's too concerned. So he can just roll this pink in. Oh yes, he was straight. So you're right, Neil, it was a good shot because he needed to keep the pink straight so he could stay amongst the reds. 33 point in the lead. Red colour, red needed. And you could see the
49.
determination on his face, and he's played for the blue and he's inch perfect. So winning the frame now at this visit should be a formality. Oh, he's underhit it slightly, but it doesn't matter, he only needs the red.
54.
39 ahead, 43 remaining, pot the red, go 40 ahead with only 35 remaining.
Well, the applause before that shot was because the equation is simple. Matthew
60.
Stevens needs plenty of snookers and he won't get the chance, I don't think, to get them.
$61.
This is a very good performance from Shaun Murphy. He must have been very, very upset with the way he played last night, but whether he wins this match or not, he's played a very determined third session. And he's
69.
definitely in with a chance now. All the way through this morning, he has cued beautifully. The frame he did lose,
72.
he could have won. But the momentum is certainly building.
76. $81.
Well, he played that shot with all kinds of left-hand side, which he didn't need to do. He won't be at all concerned about that. Fantastic shot. Probably a left-handed shot to finish off with. Brilliant stuff. 94 clearance from Shaun Murphy, who's won 5 out of the 6 frames this morning. And the comeback is still on. He trails 12 frames to 10.
Stevens continued to unravel in the 24th, and so we're going to a deciding frame. Can Murphy step out of the shadows? Can Stevens regain his composure?
Matthew coming back. Shake of the hands.
Thank you. Thank you.
Come on, Matthew.
Thank you. The deciding frame, Shaun Murphy to break.
In the history of the Crucible, no one has ever come back from 12-7 behind. It's been done 12-8 a few times, but 5 down with 6 to play, it's never been done before. Shaun Murphy will be hoping that he's going to make history. Matthew, the opposite.
Well, when you get to 12 all, or whatever the deciding frame, all you really hope for is a chance. And already Shaun Murphy has some sort of a chance here. This opening red he should get. Not sure exactly where the cue ball will finish, but it's a chance to make an early inroad in the frame. Well, that's not bad. That's not the worst kiss you've ever seen. Can play on the brown. Now, will he play into the pack or will he play on the loose red? It depends how positive he really feels. He could play one cushion into these. He's played it. Oh, that's a brilliant shot. What a shot that is
And it looks as though it's come out absolutely
Five.
perfect. Great choice, well played. Pot this red, cannon the red to the right of the black. Bring the black
6.
into play. It's all about now holding your nerve. Had a mountain to climb. He's nearly at the peak. Matthew Stevens now can only sit there and hope that he gets another chance. And the question is, will he?
Got into that one a bit too much. He wanted the choice of either red to the left corner. He's still got the one to the extreme left, but this is slightly awkward. Cueing hampered with the rest by the blue. Seen these kind of shots missed. This is a bit tricky. Beautiful. Beautiful cueing.
14.
He made it look easy, but there was some degree of difficulty about it. And this is where it's great if you've got a cue action like Shaun Murphy's. As good as anybody's in the game, and when it comes down to the nitty-gritty under pressure, to be able to deliver that cue smoothly through is a big, big help.
Obviously this pink will go into the left corner. He could run through, well, I say he could run through. There's a red just above the black he'd like to be on, if he could get through to it. Yes, he just had the right angle on the pink to play for that red. Well, pink spot not available, he's losing it, it's going on the yellow spot, but he won't be too concerned about that. He's still got the blue in the middle of the table, should he run out of position on the black.
29.
Concentration, focus. And the one thing, don't look too far ahead. Just take one shot at a time.
36.
He's done remarkably well to give himself this chance to win this match. Who would have thought that at 10 o'clock this morning?
Not
many of the spectators that are enthralled by this encounter. Packed to the rafters. No one wants to miss out on the end of this. He's run through the reds, but I can't see what he's on
44.
just yet. There's two reds in the middle of the table, round about the pink spot area, but I'm not certain one of those pots. And if they don't, nothing does.
Yes, he played a good shot as well from the black. I mean, you couldn't go into them any more positively than he did. And it's end of break because he's sizing up the positional shot. Well, this was the previous shot. I mean, he's gone into these as well as you could, really, and how he's not on a red, I might never know.
Yeah, it was unlucky. He's got a 44-point lead now he's got to think of protecting. As you say, Neil, only the safety to play. Good length with a cue ball of paramount importance.
Shaun Murphy, 44.
Good start. We talk about different types of pressure and different mentalities in situation. Matthew's been in the position all morning where he's never looked like winning this or losing this match, and now it's come to this frame. And maybe it'll just turn a little bit, because 44 points behind, he's become second favourite.
Yeah, the problem is he just doesn't look to be queuing, and he hasn't been. Given the chance, I'm sure he'll give it a good shot, but in a way you could say that he's lucky to get back to the table at all, because I thought Shaun was going to clear up there last visit. He looked very, very good. He certainly looks the stronger of the two players by some margin, really.
Yes, if Matthew Stevens was to go on to lose this match, he couldn't complain about the number of chances he'd had. Okay, there might have been an odd frame where a run on the ball determined the outcome, but he's had plenty of chances. He'd only have himself to blame. And I agree with you, Neil. Most of the morning, really, Shaun Murphy has looked the more positive, but that can happen when you're way behind and you think your chances of winning have gone, so you just relax a little bit. But that's an excellent shot. Ooh, the red just slipped through a gap. But for that, it'd have been an even better shot. It's not bad as it lies now.
Yeah, I mean, Matthew can get to that red that's drifted down to the right, although to find a thin edge of it would be a very difficult shot. There's nobody that likes playing shots from the baulk cushion. That's where Matthew is. So Hawkeye tells us the degree of difficulty he's got. We can get to that red, but as you can see, the cue ball not tight on the cushion, but making any shot awkward. You can't really play a safety shot at the black end of the table because of the red on the left that's down there. I think you've got to try and find a thin edge of this red. Maybe he's playing it the other way and going for this. Well, no, that's not a bad shot. That's not a bad shot.
Yeah, the problem for Matthew at the moment when he gets a shot like that, I think normally, Neil, he would have tried to get back to the baulk end, but he's 44 points behind. If he makes one more mistake and Shaun Murphy can get another 30 points, this match is over. Matthew Stevens' World Championship hopes hanging on a thread.
Yes, I guess another factor for Matthew is the fact that it would have appeared that he needed to win his match in this championship to get to the last 16 or the top 16 in the world for next season. He needs to get to the semi-final for that to be possible. That means a lot to every player. Missed it on the thin side. It's never so bad to do that. But the cue ball has travelled. Will Shaun fancy this red? You can play it either into the right centre or the bottom right. By nature, he is a very aggressive player. Well, the red's gone past the middle, so that'll be okay for Shaun Murphy.
Yeah, when he played the pot, he made certain he got the cue ball back to the baulk end. Easy safety shot, this, for Matthew. Play the red near the right middle. It won't cut in, but play it quarter ball. Cross double the red, send the cue ball off the top cushion, trying to get in behind green or brown. Straightforward safety. Little bit pacey. Little bit pacey. Left Shaun with his hand on the table, and there is a red, the one immediately above the black, for certain that will cut into the left corner. Well, maybe either one of the two reds above the black will go. That's the one I mentioned, and it's gone in. What's his position like on a colour? He's finished on the green. I don't know whether that's perfect. Good opening red. Deep screw, lots of right-hand side. Played it inch perfect.
4.
He won the 2005 World Championship. Looked as though he was going to go out of it with an overnight deficit of 11-5. The balls are there now for a remarkable, history-making victory.
Five.
Just stopped slightly, but he must be on the blue.
Well, it's not over yet, but he's played a tremendous last frame under this kind of pressure. It's never easy to do.
11.
But at the moment, Matthew has not had a chance. Take a long time for Matthew to get over
30.
this, I think. His top 16 place looks to be gone. But more importantly for
14.
the moment, he's going to go out of this championship. This black and one more red will be enough for Shaun Murphy to make a stunning comeback.
Yes, remarkable. All about
21.
self-belief and a bit of ability, but self-belief this morning to convince yourself that the match wasn't over.
22.
And this will be as sweet as any victory he's ever had. Feel for Matthew. Matthew played well in the middle session, but has not produced the goods. He's had plenty of chances this morning. He'll be disappointed. But he's such a lovely lad, Matthew. He won't hold anything against Shaun. This
27.
is a sweet moment for Shaun Murphy and a sour one for Matthew. His World Championship hopes. Matthew Stevens dashed again. Beaten by Shaun Murphy in the 2005 final, remember? Trying to get revenge for that, and looked as though he had. But not to be.
35.
Remarkable performance from Shaun Murphy. And who's to say a victory like this can give you the impetus to believe that you're invincible. And to me now, Neil becomes one of the major
43.
players for this championship. Obviously thinks there's a plan. It doesn't matter, even if he misses, Matthew will shake his hand. He misses. Matthew Stevens gets out of his seat and says, well done, Shaun, and very well done it is. Shaun Murphy, no one has ever won from 12-7 behind. That's with the lead Matthew Stevens had as he throws his chalk into the crowd. The young man from Rotherham, he's in the semi-final. He didn't believe it. Nobody could, but he's there by 13 frames to 12. Remarkable.
Murphy is the third piece in the semi-final jigsaw, along with Scots Stephen Maguire and John Higgins, who meet in the top half of the draw.